All right, everybody, and we are incredibly excited to welcome into the Mark Hoke Show. Well, he needs no introduction in the pro wrestling world, but I'm going to do it anyway. The two-time Hall of Famer, of course, he is the senior vice president of talent development and creative for NXT, as they're going to be heading into town. And actually, just across the street from us, down here at the Odyssey Studios, they're going to be at the UFC Apex for NXT Battleground coming up on June 9th on Sunday, as we welcome in, well, he is still the sexy boy, Shawn Michaels,
Yeah,
joining us here on the Mark Hoke Show. Shawn, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well. Little hard to pull off the sexy boy these days, but I appreciate you throwing it out there for me anyway.
No problem, sir. Well, I'll tell you what, we are all very excited. Another great event coming to Las Vegas. Now, of course, we're all excited about WrestleMania, but you guys taking the main stage, and of course, this new relationship with TKO, and going to be seeing you down here at the UFC Apex, man, for Battleground. This is going to be an exciting night.
Yeah, it really is. This is just huge for NXT. For us to be the first brand to get to be, I don't know, performing in that state of the art facility of UFC Apex to really kind of just, I don't know, solidify, that the merger and the relationship, with UFC and obviously TKO and I don't know the WWE. It's just really big for us here in NXT to be the guys that are having their first show in this amazing venue. The men and women of NXT very excited about coming out to Las Vegas on June 9th. And of course, getting to perform, I don't know, look in the entertainment capital of the world, right? I mean, what are we talking about? Las Vegas, the future home of WrestleMania, and we're looking forward to coming out there, putting on a fantastic event. Got a great show lined up for everybody, and again, just very excited about making our way out there next week. It's going to be a blast.
Yeah, we're excited too. And boy, I'll tell you what, last night's show, you guys added a little more excitement to that too, with Ethan Page showing up and Jordynne Grace popping her head into the building, and she's going to be taking on Roxanne Perez. Tell us a little bit about how that came about with Jordynne Grace coming into the building. Again, of course, she was at the Royal Rumble, but now this relationship with TNA, what's going on with that, Shawn?
Yeah, well, look again. Thankfully for me, I let people up in Stanford, people that are much bigger positions than me, make bigger decisions than I do, handle all of that kind of stuff. I get to have the enjoyment part of the gig, and that is just trying to, make it exciting for our fans that watch, NXT every Tuesday night on the USA Network. And last night, again, it was a really really big night. Felt historic, and that's what we want this, UFC Apex show Battleground to be, to feel like it's a big historic event because that's what it is. And the idea that NXT gets to be part of that groundbreaking relationship is really, like I said, I said it before, and I can't overstate it. It's huge for us. And again, having the Knockouts champion Jordynne Grace from TNA come in and challenge Roxanne Perez for the NXT Women's Championship again is going to be huge. We'll find out next week where Ethan Page and his status stands with NXT, because even all of that was even I'm kind of out of the loop on a couple of these things. So when we get all of these things ironed out, I'm sure we're going to have some big announcements coming down the pike. But again, as far as June 9th is concerned, going to be crowning a new women's North American champion in a ladder match, an underground match with Shayna Baszler and Lola Vice, two former cage fighters. So again, a big night, in Las Vegas on June 9th. And again, still have one more week to get us there and find out maybe what Trick Williams is going to be doing with the NXT Championship. So again, as exciting as last night was, still got one more week, before Battleground, and we'll see how it culminates next week on USA.
Well, I'm pretty excited about a couple things on this card too. With of course, the new Women's North American Championship. Yeah, we don't even have a secondary Women's Championship on the main rosters. So now you get a secondary championship at NXT and an opportunity to give the women an extra showcase down there. What brought that about?
Well, again, from my standpoint, and I always tell them, obviously I am biased, and I would never I would never lie about that. But the depth of our women's division here in NXT is so unbelievable, and we again, what I'm very proud of is we have so many storylines going with a multitude of not just our women, our men. We have them up and down our show, but our roster is so stacked. On the female side, it just it just seems like the right thing to do. And again, we've got a North American Men's Championship. Ought to have the North American Women's on the other side. And again, this is certainly a division that can easily handle it. So look, it was one of those things that you see again the writing on the wall. And I don't know. I go back to myself as a wrestling fan, and that's all. I don't know. I don't want to oversimplify it because it's not the easiest thing in the world coming up with a 2 hour, 52 week a year live wrestling show every week. But I know what I like as a fan, and I know that the NXT Women's Division is unbelievably stacked, and they can easily handle a Women's North American Champion, uh, you know, title contender. So again, it was just a decision that needed to be made, and we made it. And looking forward to crowning that inaugural champion on June 9th in Las Vegas.
And of course, the underground match there too, obviously with the tie-in with UFC. I think that's going to be a lot of fun to have that at the Apex Center too.
It absolutely is, and you see the atmosphere that we create here in Orlando with those underground matches, and then to bring that out to Las Vegas is just going to be amazing. And it gets it is one of those things where all the sort of stars align and they come together. I really do. I feel like this is almost a WrestleMania worthy kind of card that we've put together for Battleground on June 9th. And again, so proud that it's getting get to be the ones that are bringing this to all of you out there in Las Vegas. It's going to be a big night, going to be a fantastic night, and we're going to have a great deal of fun seeing y'all in the next couple of weeks.
Well, Shawn, I'm just curious. With you and Triple H now pretty much in charge of creative of this whole thing, did you think that 30 years ago that the two of you were going to be sitting here? I mean, I've been a wrestling fan for 40 years. I would have never bet this was going to happen. I mean, could you have pictured this back then?
Look, no, well, look, I can. Obviously, there are times you're riding around in the car and we would come up with ideas, and we always enjoyed the creative process. And then, over time, you get to take part in some of that creative process. But I can, and certainly, I can't speak for Hunter because obviously his life's changed when he married his wonderful wife. But again, no, I there's no way you could have told me at any point in my in my career or my life that we would be where we're at now. But I have to tell you, wouldn't change it for the world. It is so fun. And I'll say this: that it's much like when I was doing the job and when he was doing it. We thoroughly loved being out there. It was never a job to us. It was never hard work. And that's why, again, I feel like we're experiencing, a great deal of momentum. People calling it kind of another boom period within the wrestling business, and I believe that's the case, and I certainly hope that it is. But it all derives from two guys that are just really been fans of this since they were kids, and want everybody to enjoy it like we do. And we love, again, the creative process. We love bringing the storylines. We love trying to again surprise you, trying to give you those moments that you thought maybe you wouldn't see, or these historic things that maybe never took place, and somehow trying to come up with something that you haven't seen as a wrestling fan, and we're having the opportunity to do that. I don't know, and for us, I hate to say that it's just fun to do, but it is, and the result of that, I think, is what we're enjoying right now. And when everything is as genuine as it is, I don't know, it makes everything just perfect.
Yeah, absolutely. And I got to tell you, this period of wrestling has been so exciting for me as a fan. Takes me back to when I was a kid, seeing you at the Showboat
Yeah.
back in the day, and to see this all coming up now and watching you doing what you're doing with NXT, it is something else. And I can't wait to just hop in my car and drive down the street and see what happens down here at NXT Battleground at the Apex Center, the UFC. Man, this is going to be an awesome night, and I can't wait.
It is. Looking forward to it. It's been a long haul since the old Showboat days. But honored to be a part of it. Humbled to be sitting in the position that I am now and where I'm at. And I can't tell you again from a very genuine place. Sincerely looking forward to coming back to Las Vegas and showing our fans again how much we appreciate them and giving back to this industry and allowing the young men and women of NXT to show you that they are the future superstars of Raw and SmackDown. And you better see them now because, again, in a short amount of time, they're going to be headlining WrestleManias, much like the one we're getting in Las Vegas next year.
And we appreciate it. Shawn, thank you very much for the time. We appreciate it. Tickets are still available, you guys, at Access, so get them now. There's not many left, and we will see you very soon, Shawn. Thanks for the time to coming on the Mark Hoke Show. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Mark. I appreciate you having me.
Thank you.